how I leverage ChatGPT. So there will be some few routine codes, right? Doing loop things and other stuffs. And those things, how I'm doing these days is like I'll give that to the ChatGPT, and it will give a code, and I can use it and make things done in quickly, like within a 1 to 2 minutes. And next area where I would use these ChatGPT is on the unit testing area. So what I do is I will put my code snippet or the file which I want to do the unit test, and I'll give a sample reference of another unit test file, and I will ask to refer that sample unit test file and prepare the unit test for this.
Okay.
So within 3 minutes, the unit test is done.
So
Previously,
is that accurate? Do you get the accurate results?
yeah. I am getting the accurate results, and even in the pipelines, everything it gets passed quickly. So normally, like if we do a coding of 4 hours and we spend 1.5 hours to do the unit testing and to cover all the scenarios, there could be like 10-15 scenarios, depends on the use cases, and everything using the ChatGPT, I can able to do it in 1 to 3 minutes max. So that's kind of a game changer. We are able to do better quality stuffs on a productive area.
Okay.
And coming to the Copilot, I'm not much using that. So what it does is it studies the same file and provides the few sample examples. It is useful at some times, but not all the times. For me, that's my perspective on those two things.
So I don't use Copilot at all. I have not used it. On ChatGPT side, I use it to mainly maybe refer few things, but other than that, maybe like some edge case error which I've not seen. I try to find answers. Generally, in those cases, what happens is these models actually hallucinate. That's one of the general thing that I've seen, wherein they give like made up NPM modules. That doesn't even exist on the website. They try to give you that and with a made up solution, but those things are improving. Like right now, I think they are giving better and better solutions right now, but those things are happening. The second use case where I use this is like some nested joining, like 5 or 6 or 7 tables. You have to get some query. So I use language to explain that, okay, these are the 4 tables. They are linked by this foreign key with each. What's the relationship between those tables? And once I set that relationship in one of the chat windows, I can just go in and ask that, okay, how do I get this data from this table without actually. So that actually helps a lot while writing queries, but I'm also getting better at writing queries. So every time I generate queries, I read and validate before actually putting it in the
That's important.
before putting it in running. So while reading itself, I know what's wrong because I have an experience of writing queries. So I can just ask it, okay, this doesn't seem right, fix it. So that kind of iterative process there itself helps in writing faster implementation. But generally, what I see about ChatGPT is just as a like very junior developer. That's
You
it.
brought up a nice point. Like we have it is not 100% accurate, and it will definitely make mistakes. And we as an individual should have a knowledge to review the results before applying into our system. And if there is any correction, we have to give. When you brought up this point, I am just thinking like a few months ago, one of my junior on another project, that person was doing a task, and that person don't know what gave the person got an requirement, give that exact requirement to the ChatGPT, and ChatGPT gave the result and applied it to the code and texting me, doing this for several hours, I'm not getting any output and it is showing error. That code and everything is correct. But they're not ready to check what is given by ChatGPT and what they pasted, and they're not debugging it also. The important thing, what we as a developer we have to do, we got something, then we have to debug and see where the execution is breaking. Then only we'll know what is the problem. So that's where these junior people has to understand. They're completely relying on AI, so that's not a good thing. But AI has to be part of life to increase the productivity.
Yeah. So there, I think the problem is while using AI, you're not developing your skills. And if there is no skills to back the AI use, it is setting up for failure, because like it's like blind guiding a blind to somewhere. Because even if it's prompting, you need to know what you want. Only then you can prompt it properly to get the results that you're looking for. If you can't do that, then like I just said, it will hallucinate and give generic answers, which could be actually wrong if you don't know what's the validation that needs to be there.
Yeah, that's right. And nowadays, I think less people are looking into Stack Overflow, like for any small problems coming to ChatGPT and get result.
Yeah.
And on this part, like I have seen a LinkedIn post, one person was doing a statistics of how the website hits versus the visitor count for the Stack Overflow after the ChatGPT implementation. So the graph is going stagnantly downside. And his point of view is like ChatGPT is trained with websites like Stack Overflow, and based on the users' queries and the multiple response they got, and ChatGPT is answering based on that. And eventually, if those websites are going down, the input for the AI models is also going down, then ChatGPT is going to fail, or the similar AI tools are going to fail because they don't have any relevant input.
Yeah.
And on this part also, when we get some results from ChatGPT, there will be some version-centric things. Maybe like some NPM package, they gave results for the 1.0 versions, and the currently will be 2x or 3.x something. And those some packages they does like when they increase the version numbers, they will make some major changes.
So there are a few tools that actually are doing better, I think. One is Super Maven. It's a VS Code extension for autocomplete. The second one is Cursor. It's a IDE itself. That's a fork of VS Code. I think both of these are in a much better place because I don't know how, but they have better answers, better solutions, I think. Especially Cursor. Cursor as a whole, in the IDE itself, you can do the necessary, just based on prompt itself, you can like create a whole website. So I think I've already done a video on how you can do that with the Cursor IDE. It is a good tool, but the problem of skill versus using Cursor, there's a gap. So even while using Cursor, there are always things that you won't be able to directly fix. There are people who are saying that they can fix 100%, or they can create an app from like no code and 100% using prompt only. But I personally could not do that. Have you tried Cursor?
No, not yet.
Okay. So
Maybe
Cursor,
in our next call, we can do is we can do a live exploration on that Cursor.
Sure.
And some other tools also.
Sure. I'll just give you a brief of what Cursor is. So it's a VS Code fork. So it looks like VS Code. It acts like VS Code. It's VS Code under the hood, but there is a chat and a prompt-based engine that guides it on top of that. So you can choose different models that are there, and you can enter the prompt, and it will generate the things that you want. It is very interesting thing. It still, there is a bit of hallucination with, because under the hood, it is relying on the core AI models, right? Whether it is Claude 3.5 or GPT-4o or O Mini. There are few, like the newer models of GPT, like O1 and O3. I've not tried either of those because it requires a specific amount of money to be put into the OpenAI developer accounts to get access. I've not tried those premium models. Even the premium models, it's what I'm hearing is the O3 models that got launched, I think 3 weeks back, somewhere around.
Yeah, they had a series of events, right?
Yeah, 12 days of OpenAI releases. I think that's when O3 was released. And there was an interesting graph where the O3 tuned on high tuned and low tuned, it gave a much better accuracy than any other model previously. But I was looking at a few other videos and resources. So one thing that came up was that the energy required to run the model of that scale was very high. And the cost required for running that model for a specific task was very high. So there was a 20% chance that it could fail, which is quite high when you're running a very expensive task, right? So these models, we are seeing improvement a lot than the last couple of years. But I think when you're looking at models, I think looking at it as an assistant and not as the core idea generator and you should have the skills to back the or automate the necessary parts is necessary, because like we just said, the skills being there is important. So we've talked about different things today. What we'll do is we can continue where we left off now next week or next time when we are doing this, where we'll look at a few of the different tools, AI tools, and most importantly, AI agents. I think those are increasing a lot. There are a lot of tools on AI agents.
Actually, it is going like an exponential thing.
Yeah. So we'll look at few of the AI agents and how we could build things. Also, like we said today, we'll look at Cursor also. So that's what we'll do next week, and see you guys next week.